I've been making Hollow Knight lore videos for over 3 years now. Everything I've covered has been thoroughly researched, but that doesn't mean I won't make mistakes sometimes. I'm only human after all. There are some particular theories and interpretations that I've put out there which I later realized upon closer examination or reading comments on my videos were most likely not completely accurate. I'll be going over some of those in this video. First is why the residents of Dirtmouth, namely Elderbug, aren't infected. My original theory was that Elderbug wanted to hold on as the last original resident of the town. Some comments later pointed out that Dirtmouth in particular seems to be a point of safety from the infection. Elderbug never left and never got infected, and Sly and Bretta only became infected when they went underground. I also most likely got the reason for another character not being infected wrong, that being the Seer. I thought that, similar to Elderbug, she was keeping herself mentally strong as the last living member of the Moth tribe. Some comments made me realize that the Seer, unlike other moths before her, actually remembered the Radiance, which could have spared her from getting infected like moths who had previously turned away from the Radiance. Next is where fragile charms come from. I initially speculated that all charms, including those, came from Bug's dying wishes. I had missed Leg Eater's bit of dialogue where he confirms that he was the one who made them. I suppose it could be that Leg Eater is able to manipulate Bug's wishes, dying or not, into the charms he makes. Then there's how Confessor Gigi can sense the Night's shade. At first, I thought it had something to do with her being able to sense the presence of void specifically, perhaps having trained under the snail shamans. However, a comment pointed out that she's probably more attuned to the regret aspect of void and therefore the Night's shade, as her main focus is helping people confront their regrets, however literally or non-literally they manifest. There's also a possible reason for the pale ore being at the foot of the Radiance's statue which I hadn't considered, it being an offering to her. One possibility is that the Radiance's secret followers didn't know of the ore's likely connection to the Pale King and instead offered it to her because they could tell that it was valuable. Another possibility is that her followers knew it was connected to the king and offered it to her as a means of defying him. Followers of the Pale King who found pale ore would likely treasure it as something connected to him, but the Radiance's followers wanted to demonstrate that they cared about her and not the king. Finally are a couple of reasons why certain vessels did or didn't grow, presented to me in the comments on my video about that topic. One possible reason for certain vessels not growing is proximity to void, since it is speculated to have the ability to slow or stop time. In this case, vessels like the Knight who didn't grow would have left the abyss fairly late. Another possible reason is that proximity to the Pale King or to Hallownest itself makes vessels grow. If this were the case, the Knight in particular didn't grow because they left Hallownest. Before I conclude, I wanted to address a certain question and issue. If interpretations of Hollow Knight lore are largely up to speculation, is there really any way to be wrong about any of it? Team Cherry themselves have answered that although they have their own interpretation of the lore, they're hesitant to put any of it out there as official because, in their words, they don't want to tell anyone that they're wrong about it. That's a very noble way of putting it, and I'm glad they did so. That said, when it comes to the way I interpret the lore and then share those interpretations with others, I like to consider as much evidence as I can possibly gather, and as I've said in this video, sometimes I just miss things. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.